Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal. And I'm here today with Kurt Leavins. Welcome, Kurt.
Hi, David.
I don't feel that way, Kurt. I just feel like it doesn't feel like Canada lost to me, Kurt. It felt like Connor Hellebuck won. And Canada played a freaking fantastic hockey game. And it came down to the typical kind of OT stuff you see when it's 3-on-3, like it's wide open and they're trying to score and there's ugly mistakes made and it's hideous. And you can make, it's too much. I don't want to make too much of it in a way because 3-on-3 OT, that's how it goes. And I wish they had a different strategy and maybe some different personnel for the 3-on-3 overtime, but it's going to come down to something. I hope that's the last time we see 3-on-3 overtime in the Olympics. That is utter bullshit, Kurt, for 3-on-3. And I know Kevin Bieksa said he liked it. You're going to get a winner. No, that is not the way the game is played. And we lost 3-on-3 OT games to the U.S. Canada won, of course, with Marner a game. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But no team should have to live and die by that stupid sword.
Yeah, let me chime in on that one. And I mean no disrespect to the USA team for this. They were full credit for the victory. This is not an argument against the American victory. It's just a shitty way to decide a championship game, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It's marginally better than a shootout. But like there's no other during the round robin, I kind of get it, David. There's a schedule, there's only so many ice surfaces. But no one is waiting to use that arena now. Like, is there a senior men's team that's going to play a pickup game at 7:00 tonight? Like, what's the problem letting these two teams? And someone may say, well, they played 3-on-3 the whole tournament. Who the hell cares? Like, it's the championship game. Two terrific teams. Why don't you let them decide at 5-on-5? I'm not saying that this overtime is what decided the game one way or the other. It didn't. It's just a crappy way to end what was otherwise one of the better hockey games you're likely to see.
I think it's a decision made by people from European officials of the IOC and the IIHF who grew up with their primary formative sport being soccer. So they're used to accepting and thinking it's reasonable for an absolutely stupid, asinine way to end big games like they have the shootout in soccer. It's just like in the World Cup final, they have that, Kurt. They don't even play for the final goal. But they're so used to that, they're thinking that's okay. Their minds have been gone blotto because they've got to move away from that. And I hope that this serves as a spur for at least Canada and maybe the USA and other people who love hockey to push. Let's have the Olympic gold medal game settled like a real hockey game.
Yeah, it's an ultimate team game, right? Decided in a team atmosphere as opposed to like special teams. It's just,
I'm glad we've now cleared that off the plate and we can now move on to the game itself. And again, Kurt, part of me is ecstatic with the way Team Canada played. So let's get into it. 2-1 Canada loss to the United States of America. Congratulations to the Americans. Congratulations to Connor Hellebuck. Two good things. Two bad things, and because it's a historic loss, we'll do two bad things each and two numbers podcast. Kurt, what is your good thing?
Well, my good thing is the quality of entertainment in this game. We ever since the Four Nations, this very matchup has been hyped, and we got it, and it lived up to the hype, and then some, and then some, and then some. Tremendous hockey from two very highly skilled teams, right down to the 3-on-3 overtime. Whether you agree or disagree with the format, it's certainly exciting. I think it really shone a light on the best in the sport. It's the reason why we love hockey. You get this amazing combination of skill and grit and speed in a team atmosphere, played on the very biggest stage on the planet. if you're like me and you're a Team Canada supporter, you probably feel dejected by the loss. But if you're a hockey fan, you have to feel great with the product that was on the ice. It was two great teams that went punch for punch right down to the wire. I wanted Canada to win. I'm okay with what ultimately was an honorable defeat in a highly, highly entertaining hockey game.
Well, Kurt, you're saying fantastic game. You're saying punch for punch. I'm saying two punches for Canada for every one punch that the United States had. The grade A shots in the game, and this is totally preliminary because I didn't review them in depth. I'm going to go back and watch it again and do that. Were 30 grade A shots, 30 grade A shots for Canada, 14 for the United States. The subset of 5 alarm shots, the most dangerous shots, again preliminary 9-6 for Canada. So that was closer,
including the Devon Taves, which he'll see in his sleep for the next 4 years.
Kurt, we will all see it in our sleep. It was, and my own good thing is the third period for Canada. The grade A shots in that period, and the United States only got them because they had a 4-minute power play, was 13-2. So first of all, they only got 2 grade A shots on their entire power play, 4 minutes long with a game on the line, like 6 minutes left. And initially I thought Sam Bennett had some bad luck there. And then when I watched it again, I thought, Sam Bennett, you need to be more careful. That was really bad.
Yep. There were issues with the officiating, but not on that particular call.
No, there was a missed too many
men, which was just obvious as the nose on your face.
It's the officiating, right? It is what it is. So
the ultimate in game management, which I just hate.
So the third period starts with just an absolutely God. How did Taves not score? How did he not score? How did he not score? He had, and again I'll have to look at it again, but I think there was an initial chance and then another chance where the second chance where it's the puck's on the goal line. He's just got to power it in the net, and I don't know. You're often a shooter's often off balance in that moment. Can't put as much on it as he wants. Can't really drill it, but somehow Hellebuyck reaches back with his goalie stick, and somehow the deflection off the goalie stick doesn't go in. It is just such a frustrating and horrible moment for Team Canada when Devon Taves, or I guess it's Devon Taves, can't score in that moment, Kurt. It was awful. And then it's another awful moment when Nathan MacKinnon has a wide open net. I think was it Celebrini who put it over to him? He has a wide open net and he hits the post-ish. And it doesn't go in. And then shortly after that, Kurt, there's the the kind of the grit line, I think. There's a bunch of gritty players out there. Marchand's out there, Tom Wilson's out there. They get like 4 grade A shots and 2 of them 5 alarm shots, I think. On
Wilson,
first
the best of the bunch, I think.
Where they're just peppering the net with shots and they don't score. It is it's starting to feel like the hockey gods aren't loving us at that point. And then Canada took the penalty. And but
this leads
third period.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This leads into my bad thing though, which is Canada just couldn't bury, right?
Yeah.
Cale Makar's the only guy who bent the twine. All those opportunities you mentioned doesn't include the Connor McDavid breakaway, doesn't include the Macklin Celebrini breakaway, doesn't include that setup on the power play in front from the slot, which must have missed the post by a half an inch. It's as you illustrated with the grade A chances, they had all sorts of chances, all sorts of grade A high danger chances. At the end of the day, you gotta put those in. It's just part of the game, and you can say, "Oh, Canada deserved better." Well, they did play better than the Americans, but when the ultimate goal and the ultimate measure of the game is to score more goals than the other guys, the Canadians simply didn't. I'm with you on their quality of play, but if you don't finish, You leave yourself exposed to what happened at the end, which is a 1-1 game. One play, one shot can end it, and it did.
You got to light the lamp.
Yep.
A lot of it, like to be fair, like having watched thousands and thousands and thousands of grade A shots over the years, like repeatedly to try to figure them out and what's going on. It is often luck. It is often luck, puck luck that comes down to it. Like the goal, like for some reason the goalie's there, and sometimes it just hits. It is. The puck is round and the ice is slippery, and
And
strange things happen, Kurt, on a hockey rink, and you
yeah,
just need a break. And Canada did everything they could to get that break, and they didn't get it. So, like, the hockey gods were not smiling upon us today is the
yeah.
truth.
And you know what? I don't lose a lot of sleep over that because that is just the way the cookie crumbles in the game. That you can't blame officiating on that. I don't
No,
think you can't blame roster construction on that. When the puck is right there and you can't punch it home, that's the essence of the game. That's the crunch. That's what decides winners and losers. And the Americans quite simply pushed one more over the line than the Canadians did. It's just the cold hard facts.
don't they know that that's how we win games? That Team Canada usually wins? That's our thing, not your thing.
Yeah,
So good for the Americans. Like, really, like, that's fantastic. And that was a great goal that they scored in overtime. Like,
it
that's how
was.
they'll see it. I see it from the defensive end, and I have some comments to make shortly, but not huge ones. My real problem was the first period. Canada came out nervous. The Americans came out shot out of a cannon. Canada was having trouble transitioning the puck, moving the puck, making good plays in their own zone with the puck, and lacked composure in their own zone at times. And but it wasn't their weak. They're like the weaker defensemen on the team who let the goal in. It was their two best defensemen, their top pairing of Taves and McCarr, just got beat by Boldy, by a great offensive thrust by Matt Boldy, who, hammered, sliced through them, put the puck through them, hammered down on Taves' stick to win the puck, won the puck fair and square, went in there and beat Binnington on a nice shot. And yeah, it was a tough goal against uh, to watch, and I'm just glad they didn't get down more, Kurt, because the Americans were the better team. The play started. That play also started off with McKinnon losing a battle in the neutral zone. So it was the three avs, and it was a tough play, and it happens even to the best players. Even really great players get beat on defense, and it happened again in the OT. So, but that first period, I don't know why Team Canada was flat. They were nervous, probably missing Crosby a little bit, his leadership. And why don't I just segue to my second bad thing, Kurt, because it's so related to this. Because the puck movement thing, and we've talked about it before, and I haven't been right with all of my criticisms of Team Canada selection. I wasn't on Team Binnington. Jordan Binnington was really good in this tournament.
He
I don't
was.
think
He
he
was
was
good.
great.
He was good tonight.
He was good tonight. He was really good. He wasn't great. He was the second best goalie tonight, but he was
Yep.
really good.
Yep.
So goaltending wasn't why Canada lost. Canada lost, Kurt, because of team selection on defense. They didn't have enough puck movers. So when let's say your second best puck mover on the team, Josh Morrissey, gets injured, you don't have the depth of puck moving on the blue line to make up for that. You've got old Drew Doughty, who's hanging in there and did okay. You've got Travis Sanheim, who's maybe a sixth defenseman on Team Canada, but probably a seventh defenseman if you get it right. You have Matthew Schaefer, Evan Bouchard, Jacob Chikrin, all sitting watching that game. All probably should have been playing. And if you had that blue line, Kurt, Canada wins that game. I'm convinced of it. And you hear a lot from the mainstream media broadcasters and the former players, especially. Don't criticize the management. They did. No. No, that's, you know what?
If anything, it's the opposite. I won't criticize the players. I'll criticize the guys who put them there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The players did all were working their as hard as they could and doing their best. The managers didn't get the right players on the ice. Doug Armstrong of St. Louis did not get the right players on the ice, and he with his selections played a big hand in Canada losing this gold medal. And those other two games didn't have to be that close. If I honestly,
Yep.
that also came from a lack of puck moving. It was a huge issue all game long, and if Doug Armstrong and his team hears it, well, they deserve to hear it.
Yeah, I thought in the first period in particular, how many times did we watch the puck just get flipped out of the Canadian zone and back into American hands, which is, let's call it what it is, turning over possession, right?
Yeah.
All because too many times the Canadian defense could not transition that puck cleanly out of the zone. And here's a flip up the middle. Here's a flip up the middle. Here's a flip up the middle. For the love of God, man, it's, I want to say just one more time, I have all kinds of respect for any player who pulls on the maple leaf, and I was cheering for every single last player that was on that ice. But from a roster construction standpoint, as you know, David, I was saying early on and frequently, even if you don't envision Evan Bouchard to be in your top six to start, have him on your roster. Because at some point over this tournament, smart hockey minds will look at this team and say, boy, this team's really good. What are we missing? And the obvious answer to any informed hockey fan was they need help on transition. It was obvious tournament long, and it just got bold-faced as we got deeper and deeper and against tougher and tougher competition. If there's a miss by Team Canada in this tournament, I don't put it on any one player. I put it squarely on the management for their construction of the blue line. I thought Canada paid for it in the end.
Kurt, your second bad thing.
My second bad thing was the absence of Sidney Crosby on a couple of fronts. First of all, who didn't want to see Sid play in that game? From a pure emotional standpoint, everything that this guy has given Hockey Canada and fans from coast to coast, surely you wanted this for him. Second of 3 points. In a game this tight, this narrow, where the margins were so thin, if you put a player the quality of Sidney Crosby on the ice, it's hard not to imagine that doesn't push you over the finish line. I see lots of commentators, primarily American commentators, conveniently saying that Canada doesn't win the Four Nations Cup if Quinn Hughes is playing. Oh, really? Well, then how does it feel if I say Canada wins the gold medal if Sidney Crosby's playing? It's the same thing, right? My third and final point on Sidney Crosby, I think ultimately will be he made the ultimate team decision where it would have been easy for him to want to be in that game so bad that he played when he shouldn't. And instead, he had to make what surely was one of the hardest, if not the hardest decision of his entire storied championship career, which was to take a seat and let another player play in front of him. For that, I'll always respect Sidney Crosby.
It's happened again. McDavid was named Olympics hockey MVP over Hellebuck, and
hard to say he didn't deserve it, right? He was the best player in the tournament.
Well, I would have picked Hellebuck this time. I thought he deserved the Conn Smythe.
I wouldn't have. No, I don't think. I didn't hear anybody through the tournament saying, "Man, Connor Hellebuck is ruling this tournament." It's full marks, and I know Hellebuck was given Player of the Game for this game and well deserved. But for the tournament, I think McDavid is absolutely the right choice. In fact, I think Hellebuck would have been my number 3 choice behind Connor McDavid and Macklin Celebrini.
Just one final point about the team selection. Mm-hmm. McCarr didn't play more than an ugly amount of ice time, but he did play 24-32, and I'd like to know in overtime how much he had been out there by the time that they scored. But I just wonder, he made Canada went in, took a shot on net, and he was skating back, and the U.S. is rushing up the ice, and he made like a he lost a battle, probably, but I think it was more like a rash decision where he went for the puck, tried to steal the puck, as offensive hockey players do, and he lost that battle, and that led to the odd man rush. It was essentially a 3-on-1 at one point, and McDavid tried to get back and wasn't in time, and McKinnon was back, the only guy back on a 3-on-1. That's not ideal. I just wonder, again, if you have Evan Bouchard in overtime, Kurt, you can give Kel McCarr a break and have him fresh all the time. And
that's fair, because McCarr is the right guy to have out there, but he can't play the whole damn overtime, right?
Well, who else would you put out there? And I was thinking, who else do you really like? They put Taves, who's okay, but he's not Evan Bouchard.
Shea Theodore, who's also not Evan Bouchard.
And there's Thomas Harley.
Yeah.
Who should have been on the team, but isn't Evan Bouchard. That decision comes in. I just I'm going to have to watch the overtime again, but I just think McCarr's out there. I'm sure it's his second shift. And anyway, it's just one of those, they just left themselves in such a tough spot. Your number, Kurt.
10 p.m. tonight. The roster freeze is over. And we mostly stop talking about the Olympics and we start talking about the Edmonton Oilers and the National Hockey League and the Stanley Cup again. And as that game ended tonight, and as I watched the Canadians stand there appropriately, but man, that must have been tough to stand there forever.
An hour.
Oh God, for that ending ceremony to the game. That's all from a respect standpoint, you got to stand there, but all you want to do is just get off the ice and into your room, right?
But Kurt, they had about 37 IOC officials there, and they had to announce every one of them.
Yeah, and they had to hand out plushies to all of the players, who I'm sure were just thrilled.
Kids, for the players' kids, I think
you come home, cares? Give them to them later. But here's my point.
I hear you.
As I was watching the ceremony, I was thinking, Stan Bowman owes Connor McDavid to move heaven and earth to put a third Stanley Cup contending lineup on the ice. This is a guy who's got your team to the Stanley Cup final twice and helped take Canada to a gold medal final. He hasn't won any one of the three yet. We all know truly great players get measured by championships. Stan Bowman can't just bring Paul Coffey back and hope that that's enough. He's really got to sharpen the pencil, earn his money, and help push this team over the finish line.
I know the Four Nations isn't the Olympics, but I do give Connor McDavid has won the Four Nations and scored the winning goal. So I put that in his win category in a major tournament. So it's not the Stanley, it's not the same tier as the Olympic gold and Stanley Cup.
It doesn't.
But it's pretty damn good.
It is, and there's I'm sure no bigger Connor McDavid fan than me.
Except for Russia.
Yeah, who don't deserve to be there, right? But there's still three big stage games where he hasn't been on a team that could push it over the finish line. Stan's got to make sure that streak ends at 3.
So your actual point is excellent. There were Oiler fans and commentators who were throwing it in December, willing to throw out the season. What? What? Yeah. There were Oiler fans and commentators who were complaining about some coaches' noses are out of joint because they brought in Paul Coffey. Seriously?
Who cares? Do you want to win or not?
You do whatever it takes. And they're going to have to trade away. It's going to be painful what they have to give up to get the players they need to try to compete this year.
Yep.
You do it. You know what? And I'm going to, if you got to trade Ike Howard, you do it. If you have to trade Matt Savoy you do it. If you have to trade both of those guys in the first pick, and you also have to trade Quinn Hudson, you do it.
If you have
You
to make a
bring.
hockey trade with one of your guys who has to agree to waive his no trade, you do it.
That's right. You do it, and now you better get back the right players. I'm not saying you make a stupid trade. If you're giving up good prospects like that, you get back some good players, but you do it. And you also find a way, frankly, to get Josh Szymanski on this team right away. And like he is not. They need to see if he can play third line center. There's a number of games before the regular season the trade deadline comes. There's 2 or 3 weeks. Get him in the lineup right away and play him, so you know if you need to trade for a third line center or not, because you might not, and then you trade for something like then that changes your options. So there's a number of things they have to do to battle for the Stanley Cup this year. They've got to do all of them, and
Push the
there's
button,
no
Stan.
excuses for Stan Bowman.
Yep.
He's got to do all of them, and he made some screw ups. He made obviously some really good moves this summer, but he also screwed up with the Mangiapane signing and the Frederick signing. He's got to make up for that now, and he's dug himself a hole. It's time for him to dig out. So let's see him do it.
There's a rumor out there that Mangiapane's already been traded. They're just waiting till 10 tonight local time to announce it. Who knows whether there's any validity to that or not, but it certainly is part of the chatter out there.
Who's is that a real rumor? Or is
It's
that
more
like
than one person that's saying it, so we'll see. So it was
I
all based on a very vague Darren Dreger tweet.
I just think I saw that and I saw the talk around it. I don't think it's even. I just think the Mangiapane thing's like it's a little piece of snow that started rolling down a hill maybe and has gotten
I think that's
bigger.
probably true.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. Like,
But
don't
it's
get
the
my
most
hopes up.
likely. But it's the most likely piece to move and has to move, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should know by now exactly. It's almost 2 months now that he's been on the market,
Yep.
and the owners have to know exactly right now where they're at with that and how painful it's going to be. I just hope it's not too painful, the poison pill that they're going to have to obviously swallow to move this guy in the last year of his deal. It shouldn't have to be, because he's not a terrible hockey player. He's an okay like he's probably a $2 million a year hockey player.
Yep.
So for next season, all things considered, he might bounce back and be useful NHLer. Teams need useful NHLers. There's some
unlike Jeff Skinner, who clearly was in retrospect done. Like,
yes.
can we stop blaming the Oilers coaching staff for that one? He was clearly done before management got him. We've seen that this year, right? The Mangiapane thing, I'm with you, David. I still think there's a third/fourth line player there that someone in the NHL can use. He's just not going to help win you a Stanley Cup.
And the owners need that cap space, so they can bring
Desperately.
in a better player. Like, that's you
Yep.
might even keep Mangiapane if you didn't need that cap space, but they need it, so they got to get it.
Yep.
Alrighty, Kurt. Any final thoughts?
Oh, it's just damn.
Group hug.
It's you want it so bad. You think you want it worse than anybody else, but of course you don't want it more than the players do. I feel for them. They all put it on the line, played for their country. They can hold their heads high while it's silver, not gold. They still played a tremendous tournament and gave us an incredible amount of entertainment. For that, I'm appreciative. It's going to be a bit of a step down back to NHL hockey here in the next 7 to 10 days.
All right, anyone watching or listening to this, get close to your phone and get close to your computer and group hug time. It's okay. It's okay. Sucks. It sucks. All right.
Sucks to lose.
Sucks to lose.
Hear that, Stan?
Life goes on. Life goes on. This too shall pass. Kurt, thanks for talking today.
Thank you, David.
And thanks to the wisest, smartest, and sanest hockey fans in the world, the faithful, for listening to the podcast.
The faithful would have picked a different decor. You guys knew.
You know it.
You guys knew.
The faithful was all over that, and they knew. We knew. Of course, we also wouldn't have gone with Binnington, but who says Logan Thompson wouldn't have been as good? Like, that's one where you don't know, actually. But Binnington, to give them credit, they went with him, and that worked. Okay, enough. And in the meantime, and in between time, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast. stop. Something went wrong.